Okay. Hello again. It's the second game of the Winter Matchplay 2018, a competition which I believe has been going for a good 30 or so years, run by Mike Willis, and a very popular tournament and one of the UK majors. I'm Colin Northmore, a decent player from the northeast of England. I'll be playing in a tournament tomorrow, so you'll get a different commentator. Game 2 is between Steve Perry and Elie Dangoor. Steve's the former chair of the ABSP, and Elie is the chair of Wesper, and an expert player. So we've got Steve to start the game. Steve could do with a floating N for mountain or anti-muon. But there aren't any of those. I don't think there's... Ah, yes. Manitou is there. If I look a little harder, or Tinamu, it's anagram. And Steve has played Manitou utilising the double letter for the 3-point M word, M tile. I was distracted by the famous Scrabble t-shirt about making a anti-muon out of a mountain, which an Australian player was wearing at Malta last year. George, can't remember George's surname, a lively chap. So Steve's jumped into a big 74-point lead. Both players lost their 4 games. I've just seen Steve by about 60 to Rick Kennedy and Elie by 102. An up-and-coming newish player, Ahmed Khan, from the Manchester area. So Elie has WRVAYLD on his rack, which could be nicer. Maybe looking to get rid of at least 2 of the 3 heaviest tiles on the rack, WVY, such as Davy, which is a miner's lamp, probably named after its inventor. Would be Wavy, but now I'm having doubts after the Riley play of the first as to Wavy can be spelled without the E. They can indeed. The best plays are Vaward, which I'm not particularly familiar with, I've got to say, but does ticks all the boxes. So a good play by Elie there. As Brett was commentating on, maybe on the final, a player can play better than his opponent, though not win the games, if he does what he does well with inferior tiles, but that is part of the game of Scrabble, of the fortune of picking good tiles and utilising them well. And unlike what some people perceive, luck does even itself out. It might not over like a best of 3 World Championship quarter-final, but in the long term it does. So with that rant over, Steve has a 48-point lead with COTTIS. There is very, very likely no bonus here, and Steve will be looking to play 2 T's if possible. I think COT is good, COTTA, but I would be putting a C in the triple spot. Steve plays TOT. OTIC was available. I've lost the spot where it was playable. It must be D12 going down with a C on the double letter on the bottom line there. TOT's not a bad play. People have different sort of risk factors in putting letters between the triples. So Elie has a 57-point deficit, and he's got a rack of PLY AWEI, which again is not the nicest An easy play might be YAW, making YOU with Y on the triple letter spot twice. Probably isn't much better from a quick look. The best play is Pedway for 38 through the D, which would be a very nice move, and I did not see it. Steve has got a 24-point lead and would need a N, floating N for agnostic, which there is an N, but it's not floating enough. So basically, Steve's got agnostic minus the N. Easy play could be COG, making cat and OW above Elie's play of yaw, but it's getting into the beginning of a steps pattern in the top right hand corner there, if he does. But it does give a hook for scat if he plays it, and Steve has got the S. Elie has got a nice rack from what was a bit ugly to start with, and has, with a blank for an R, he's got profile. But playing through the R of Vaward and using the blank for an S or D, he's got profiles or profiled, depending on where Steve plays himself. I do not think that Steve has got an 8 through the R. Argostic doesn't sound right. I guess we're going to see a cog play. Oh, Orgastic was the only bonus available. Orgastic. Steve has played cog, and Elie will probably be quickly playing profiled or profiles here, I would think. I was just looking on, says Elie, Orgastic is the top 5,000 8-letter words, so I should have got that. And any guesses for its definition? Well, it means relating to orgasm. Steve's got a very nice pickup. He's got Entasia or Teeny Eyes, which Entasia, they'll both be playable next move wherever Elie goes. And Steve's also got about 6 8-letter words through the R. It seems the top points for profile would be putting the E between triples on the right hand side, and Elie doesn't think it's worth that risk factor, so he's played profiled in a more sort of secluded spot on the board, which I would as well. So Elie has got a 23-point lead, and Steve is sat there with a rack of Entasia or Teeny Eyes. Entasia plays to the right of cog, making cogs, but the E would be at the top next to the triple word score, which is pretty dangerous. Teeny Eyes would be playable from D4 across. 2, 4, 6, 7. Sorry, it would be E4 across and wouldn't make a double word. It would be one short of that. Yeah. There could be other spots to play it on the board. Entasia will be the highest scorer with cogs, but would have some risk factor. But it's opening up 2 triple words, and obviously Elie can't utilise them both. As it happens, Elie hasn't picked up a strong rack particularly to take advantage of that, besides having the H, which could mean decent points in the top right-hand corner. But of course, Steve doesn't know what Elie's got, and may not want to play too openly. I can hear 64 being declared, so he's played it in. He's played tiny. He's in a bit of a restricted spot, not given a lot away, but he has sacrificed potentially 16 points from playing Entasia under Vawards. Maybe Steve wasn't confident of Vawards, and it would have been putting an E between triples. So Steve takes a 41-point lead, and he hasn't really given a lot away with the positioning of tiny A's, for which he has sacrificed a few points. Elie has got Hour, the 60 minutes, HOUREER. So Elie will be looking to play off, say, HRU and maybe one of the duplicate E's. Next to the right of the A of Vaward, there's, I believe, Hoa is good. Somebody who hoes. It's one of those one-way think, is it good for sure? The other hotspot is the triple letter above the E of profiled, and Hoa or Ho would go down nicely there for sort of high 20 points, early 30s. You can hear Elie's declared 29. He's probably played HOE above profiled, I would guess. He's actually played Hour, HOUR, in that same spot with a rack leave of REE. Steve's got a 12-point lead, and after playing his bonus, he's picked up the blank and QATDFH, which it's a bit clunky, but obviously beggars can't be choosers when you pick up a blank. Before I've had time to look, we've got Crackle up, and there's a very nice high-scoring play, a non-bonus through the eye of profiled, utilising a Q on the double letter square. I won't say what it is straight away to give you a chance to get it yourself. Steve has played QAT. The bonus available was Daiquat, which would be a blank for the U, but probably worth it for the, I believe it was 75 points on offer. Elie has played quickly, getting rid of some excess of vowels, playing Yorido through the D of Vaward. Steve has a 20-point lead, but has got an excess of S's and consonants. 2 S's, a blank, Z, F, H, D. Steve will be looking to score reasonably, but not changing. Potentially there'd be a Z above the OO of profiles, but that would make a AZ, so Steve would need an O. So he could use his blank for an O for AZO, which would be a good 66, 70 points. Is there anywhere else Steve can go without sacrificing his blank? But it's such good points. It's the second best move. AZO Hoofs is the top move with 1.8 different valuation. Elie has got Rebadge, which is to rebrand a product. Is it playable? It doesn't quite go rebadge, BAD. It doesn't go above tiny as there are hooks, but it doesn't quite go there. I wouldn't think there's any 8s through the S at the bottom. I don't believe anything goes after COG besides an S, which Elie has not got. Steve's picked up relatively strongly with a good base after playing off a H, F and duplicate S for good points. He's got D, Z, S, I, L and his blank. So Elie will be frustrated if he can't find anywhere for his rebadge. And I don't believe there is anywhere. So Elie will have to try and score his best points he can while balancing his rack. So what can we play? I believe that Chris Lipe in the World Championships played a Begner against me, if I've got it the right way around. Sorry, I think it's Benga, Benga. There's a bingo available. Dangoor through the U. It's not a word I'm familiar with, so I wouldn't have got it at this point in time before I study even more. And maybe a chance that Elie does. He has played it and it's been held. It would appear that it is valid and is a very nice play. So congrats to Elie for that play, and I believe he gets an extra 5 points for the unsuccessful challenge. Sorry, it wasn't challenged at the end, it was just held, so there aren't any challenge points coming out of this. So Elie's gone into a 24-point lead with that delightful play. It probably isn't too high or low probability, and as I say, I didn't see it. I'm not making any excuses. Steve will be looking to score quite well with his quite nice but not ideal rack. Steve obviously looking at the hot spots. There's the triple word on the right hand side, but really to play it you'd need a A or an O to play up from the something before the E, or going down would be something like DI, which is too feeble really to play. An ideal spot Steve would be looking for would be the triple word at the top middle, but I can't see a suitable play with the floating N there. Can hear Steve's declared 21. It'd be interesting to see where he's played. 38 was the best for Ziggs through a G of Cog, which both Steve and I really should have seen. He's taken the triple out, which I'd suggest him keeping sort of potential high scoring points for next go. So Steve's still got a 3-point deficit with a strong rack, and Elie's got a very poor rack of pub, P-U-B, U-E-N-I. So it's good luck with that, Elie, but pub is playable in the bottom left-hand corner to the left of Dangoor, which may well be the play. It is. Pub was playable in 2 other spots, as was pub at 3G, which was directly on top of Tainia's. Steve's got potentially high-scoring tiles here with blank Z, S-I-L-Y-T. There's a few hot spots. There's the triple bottom middle and triple top middle. The zigs, which Steve didn't see or passed over last play, is still playable through the G of cog in the top right-hand corner. Such as Ritzy from the R of Hoa, but isn't high enough scoring, to be honest. Potentially, it could be something IZ on the bottom middle triple. Oh, it's not coming to me. Oh my god, 3 Elie zestily. That's just a wonderful play, and Steve has got it for 109 points, making ITA, LAT, and YE above Taineers. It's got a bit of a danger element with a Z in the triple lane, but 109 points is just wonderful. So Steve has a commanding 79-point lead, 368 at 289. Elie's turn with DOVNEUI. The fullback plays something like doze through the Z on the top left of the board, which would be 2, 3, 13, 15, 45 points. There's Divines, quite a nice play through the eye of profiled at the bottom middle there, would be 3, 11, 12, 13, 14, 42 points, but would be letting in Steve into his Z in the top left-hand corner there. Elie's probably reeling from the shock of Steve's lovely 109-point play, and he's taking his time. Doze is in fact the best score, and Divine, the other one I mentioned at the bottom, is one of the top 4 spots, but Elie's played Dizen with a slightly higher tile turnover, but keeping a quite awful VOU, but it was hard to avoid doing that in this circumstance. So Elie's closed the gap to 31-point deficit. Steve's got 2 duplicates on his rack here, NNRR plus LIE. Steve will be looking to get rid of his duplicates and score quite reasonably, which is easier said than done. There's potentially inner from the eye of profile going down, which would be a measly 18 points on the bottom middle of the board there. Famous last words. There's definitely not a bonus here. Sounds like he said 18, which would go along with the inner. I'll see what he has actually played. There was 9 for 25 playable on 12H, which was horizontal in the same spot. Steve indeed has played inner, which was my suggestion, even though not quite the best play. So Steve's got a rack leave of LIR, which is half reasonable. Needs a half decent pickup to make the rack more attractive. Elie has a 49-point deficit with a pretty awful rack of VOU, which was his rack leave, plus CSII. It's a case of good luck here, Elie. What can you do? So I shouldn't say that, but there's such as VI onto the G of cog, which doesn't help solve the ongoing rack problems, it just delays the problem. From the R of Hoa, there's RIVO, which is, I believe, a drinking cry, and does not take an S. A lot of people will be sucked into that. What else is there? Ooh, I'm missing the obvious. There's Vicious on Elie's rack, but it's not playable anywhere. The top play is Virus, not that virus, but VIROUS on M8. So it's through the R of Hoa, VI through the ROUS, which, although using the S, is worth it to clear the rack. The second best move is easier to see, Rouse, through the same R with V on the double letter, but would leave a rack leave of CII. There's no ideal play here, it's just making the best of what Elie's got, to be honest. There's a nice play suggested, Corvus, CO through the RVUS, which is outside my knowledge range. Elie has played via VI onto the A, giving a rack leave of COUSI, but has picked up two vowels, an A and an E. There are a number of words playable with all five letters of all five vowels. I don't think one would be available in this circumstance. From what there is, there's a R to play through. I've just looked at the leaderboard, and the top three seeds after one game occupy the first three spots. Lewis, the number 1 seed, Lewis Mackay, then Phil Robertshaw, who's the number 3 seed, and Austin Shin, who's the number 2 seed. So the top seeds have got off to a good start. Steve has a 35-point lead with a decent scoring rack of JOGELIER, so Jog Liar. Sounds like he might have played Jog, because I can hear 22 points have been declared on the G of Cog, though maybe 22 points is available elsewhere. Joggler was the best play, played through the G of Cog, making Yawl, YAWL. Steve has played Jig rather than Jog. I can't quite see the tiles left, but maybe there's I's left, in which case Steve's played an O. Sorry, played an I to keep an O for a better rack balance. I see from Steve's pickup he's got, whether it's playable or not, Allegro, which, besides being an old car make, I believe will be a musical term. I think although Elie's very heavy vowel racks with one of each vowel plus a C and S, he won't be that far from a bonus, so I don't think it's quite there, through the R of Hoa, such as Curiosa, but he would be using most of his tiles for little gain. How many tiles are left, Jess? There's something about computer hiding the unseen tiles. Thank you. That's perfect. Thank you. So there's 6 tiles in the bag. So Elie's got to be careful with his rack balancing to try to be able to go out with a hopefully victorious bonus for him on his last play. And Jessica's just moved something on the screen so I can see what the unseen tiles are on the Crackle board. There's A3Es. These are the unseen tiles to Elie, so it's a combination of what's in the bag plus what's on Steve's rack. So we know Steve's got Allegro, so besides that there's 2 E's, a K, a H, N, and I can't see quite under what's left under O again, it's hidden. Ooh, there's the X left as well in the bag. Potentially could be crucial under high scorer. So while Elie's making his play, he may think that Steve has got the X on his rack. So we'll be trying to give himself, Elie, good points, but restrict either bonuses or an X play for Steve. But Elie's got a 57-point deficit with 6 in the bag, so has got to sort of think of himself more and say play off 2 or 3 constants and keep a strong rack to hopefully, with the right pickup, go out with a bonus, hopefully winning bonus for Elie. Elie's going to take his time over this move, so Steve's got a lot of thinking time while Elie thinks this. So it's easy for Steve to quickly to spend time seeing what he's got rather than me looking at 2 racks. Although such as Brett would see things instantly if he were commentating. So top suggested play from Quackle is playing off the sort of worst 2 vowels, the OU on G13, which is making FON, F-O-N, and S-U-E down at the bottom middle board, just to the left of centre. This would give Elie a 20% chance of winning, which is small, but it's given him a chance. It would leave 4 tiles in the bag, so unless Steve would be able to bonus, then Steve's probably likely to play 3 tiles at most to avoid Elie potentially going out and sneaking the game. In fact, the top 3 and the 5th best move, according to Quackle, are using solely vowels, OU, EAU on 6F. 6F. Which is making late, Late, just under quat. Elie's declared his score, and I think I've heard it say 11, so it's probably EAU. No, he's just played an I under the Q. So there's 5 in the bag. Interesting to see what Elie picks up to go with his COUSEA, and this is a M. Steve's got Allegro. There's 5 tiles in the bag. Steve's got a 46-point lead. Unless Steve can see a bonus, as I say, he has got Allegro in his rack, which is not playable. So we'll be looking to play off no more than 4 tiles to leave 1 in the bag. Steve will be looking for any possible bonus. There's 2 R's to play through, of 1 from Hoa, 1 from Inner, and other bingos would have to start, or third letters N or E from Inner at the bottom, or starting with D. I'm pretty sure there's nothing beginning with a D of Dizen in the top left-hand corner playable on the top row. From Steve's point of view, the 12 unseen tiles are A, C, E, 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 K, M, N, O, S, U, X. The X is still in the bag, although Steve doesn't know this. I'm not sure whether Elie's got a bonus. I don't know if Mucus A may be good, but whether it needs a second U, something like MUCOSAE, which, if it is, would be playable pluralizing Hoa. I have just looked on my friend Ziva, and mucosae is indeed good, to do with, guess what, mucus on the membrane or similar. Seems the singular is mucus a, and the plural is adding the E. And it's relatively high probability, I think. It's in the top 11,000. So Elie probably will know it whether he sees it. It looks like Steve's played real mucus. I'm not sure if it's totally blocked Elie's play of mucus, say. That's dependent on whether REAL takes an E, which I've got a feeling it may do, being possibly a Spanish currency. But what Steve's done is he's given himself a 62-point lead. He's sort of restricted any bonus plays, and he's left 1 in the bag. So even if Elie does bonus, Steve should score enough to counter to take the game. I was incorrect. Real doesn't take a E after it, just takes an M, O, or S. Real, REAL, is a former monetary unit of Spain and either takes an S or an ES. REAL taking an O is a member of a less radical section of the German Green Party. So Steve's picked up, with his rack leave of LOG, he's picked up KENX, which is likely to be able to score him decent points next move. Elie's up against it here. He's got the mucus A, but nowhere to play it, I believe. Oh gosh, he's played an awesome bonus I hadn't noticed. Rasmus off the R at the bottom of the board for 95 points, taking a 33-point lead and picking up the final tile. So Steve needs to score a net score of more than 33 points. So that's his score from his next play minus what Elie will be able to play with his final tile, which is an E. Steve's got simply, with a quick look, OX at the bottom on top of Rasmus, making OX and XU, which would be 9. 38 points. It would not be enough to win the game, with what points Steve would have to count on his rack and what Elie would score with the E. Are there any other hot spots we can see? There's like Gox under real, but that is definitely not enough points. If Steve had a Y instead of a K, there's Loxygen, which is liquid oxygen. There's a XI spot by Via in the top, just right off centre of the board, but again, it's not enough points to secure the game for Steve. Game's turned at the end here as to whether Steve could have potentially seen that the danger there and blocked that instead of playing real. I'm not sure, but it looked like it was potentially a winning position for Steve, and now it doesn't, unless there are much higher scores from the X. So Steve needs to score a net 34 or more, which is basically the score from his play minus double the points that he'll have left on his rack, and also minus the points that Elie will secure with the E for his final play. And it would appear to me, though I can't call these things wrong, it would be a very tall order for Steve to get enough points to secure victory. I still have Mike Willis, the tournament organiser for this tournament, just posted on a post on Facebook that Diane Precise's told him that she got away with 2 phonies in the first game, which I probably focused on that enough. They were over tidy, which seemed feasible. It may have been the 5 points, a risking 5 points for the penalty challenge if it was incorrect, and Riley. The top plays here are Vox and Vex. This is from the Via Vaward at the centre of the board. They all give a 0% chance of winning the game, as I say, because Elie is going to score enough points with his E and gaining quite a number of points that Steve will have remaining on his rack from especially the K plus the GLEN for Elie to take the game by probably around 20 points. Do we know how much time Steve's got left, Jessica, please? He's obviously going to use all the time he can to look for a winning play, but alas, there aren't any. He's actually got less than 2 minutes. He's either going to take the full time to look for a winning move, or in despair might make a play, but either way, he's not going to win unless Quackle hasn't seen something, which will not be the case, or whether Elie makes a phony with his sole letter left off an E, which crazier things have happened, but I don't think we'll be seeing that. He's got such as OWE and tote in the top right quadrant of the board. Steve has played Vox, which was a top move playable, but it's just going to come up short, and Steve's going to lose, and Elie win the game by approximately 20 points. I can see 10 points for OWE and tote, whether there's more points available. Yes, that's the top move available and has been played. So in a quite exciting game, Elie's taken the game 4-8-7 to 4-6-4. The highlights of the game were Elie playing the winning move, as it happened at the end of the game with Rasimus, and Steve's move of Zestily was very nice for 109 points early in the game. But unfortunately, unless there's the rare occasion of a draw, somebody has to win and somebody has to lose, but both players have put up a fine performance in this game. Games can be decided on small margins. So over and out from me until Game 3 starts.